Tom No from Atomic Enrollment. We're going to talk about how to use meta ads to enroll military veterans into your trade school or vocational training program so they can enroll using the GI Bill. Dozens of trade and vocational training programs, whether they're kind of blue collar, out in the field type of training, the good old like HVAC, plumbing, electrical, other types of lineman training, or if they're even kind of typical white collar IT, cybersecurity type of training or medical training. We work with dozens of these vocational training programs where they accept the GI Bill. Now, we probably help place about 5,000 military veterans annually across all our clients, where we help them enroll their students using the GI Bill that came off of meta ads. So we're gonna talk about how you guys can do that as well. First, you need to understand the total addressable market, right? If you haven't been having success or you're not even trying to enroll military veterans using advertising on social media like meta advertising, you may have this limiting belief that I can't really reach them, or there's too much compliance red tape to even try that. We're familiar with all that, so we're going to dive into that. Now, let's start with, can we actually reach military veterans on Facebook and Instagram to start, even TikTok? So let's start with the total addressable market pool of military veterans that could enroll in your program. That pool is about 5,000 individuals in the US. That is made up of veterans who are out the military aged 25 to 44. That's about 3.6 million people. And then there's about 1.33 million active duty service members that may be transitioning out the military soon and looking for the next civilian career. Now, research on Meta shows that Facebook still remains the dominant hub. I'm sure Instagram, a lot of these military people still use Instagram. But out of that 5 million, 88% is reachable on Meta through Facebook or Instagram. On Instagram, that demographic is skewing lower, 25 to 35. So one, you need to understand how powerful this platform is, Meta to start. Now, you need to understand the audience, right? Like, we help dozens of our clients enroll military veterans using meta advertising into trade and vocational training programs. So we understand the avatar, the audience very well, both from the consumer's perspective of the military veteran and the school owner and the team, the executive team and the school's perspective. So there's generally two types of military veterans. One, the one that likes working with their hands, being out in the field, being adventurous, and ones that are more analytical, likes being in the office. Maybe they were in like communications or analytics, and they prefer more to be inside the office. So you got to know who you're selling to. You also got to understand both those avatars for military veterans when they're transitioning out the military is a pretty scary time, because they've been in the military for at least 5 years, 10 years. That's all they knew. And it's kind of like, they're not sure what to do next. It's pretty scary. So you need to speak to that empathetically as well in your advertising. And you need to speak to the strengths of a military veteran, right? Most likely they're disciplined, they like structure, and they're seeking tangible skills and a good career. So you need to make sure there's commonality in the program you're selling, that, hey, you're a good fit for this program, and you need to speak to that. Now, let's talk about compliance, military compliance. The VA office, depending on the school and the program, is very strict. Most times it's pretty strict. There is compliance and red tape around advertising to military veterans. Historically, there have been bad players in the space. So the main things is, for some schools, you can't directly call out military veterans or specific branches of the military. For all programs, you can't make income claims, career outcome claims. Those are probably the two biggest things. So let's talk about what you have to do then to enroll military veterans using meta advertising. One, you got to know how to target these military veterans on Meta. Again, there's a total addressable market of about 5 million people that can enroll in your program in the United States. About 88% is reachable on Meta. How are you going to reach them? That's the question. We're going to show you how right now. So you can target specific type of interests. There are very broad categories of military. You could target specific branches of the military as well. But again, if you watch any of our past videos, we're going to reiterate targeting who you want to target, who you want your ad to go in front of. The targeting is done inside the ad video, inside the ad copy. The algorithms crawl your creatives to understand deeply who you are looking to get in front of, and they use that as the basis for targeting. Now, if you can't call out military folks in your advertising, How are you going to do the targeting, right? We have solved that. I'm going to show you here shortly. But also you could upload your past leads, your past students into Meta as a custom audience if you have at least 1,000 emails and phone numbers. And you could do some geographic targeting as well near bases if you're looking to enroll active duty people through some type, if you're on bases like a CSP program, something like that. So in terms of the actual video, you got to stick to our content first ad strategies, 4 pillars of content. What is this program? Who is this program for? What's the benefit outcome I'm going to get through this program? And what's the commitment on my time and money? Core basis of all your ad videos. What also works really well is just past alumni who just talk about what branch of the military they were in and their background, specifically about their background in the military, and then talking about their experience through the program and what they're currently doing. So student testimonials work well, especially, but you got to make sure they talk about their military background. So here's an example. For student testimonials, we always make sure they call out which branch of the military they were from. Now, you can funnel your military veterans into a variety of different places, but what works well is what we call our mini webinar landing page. A mini webinar where we explain in depth what the program is. We have a template of what to say in this video. If you want it, just reach out to us. So they're getting circled with a variety of different ads, 5 to 10 different ad videos, testimonials, direct response ads. They get pushed to this landing page, watch a video, and then they book a call on the team's calendar. That works really well, short and sweet. Don't overcomplicate it for military veterans. They hate that. Now let's talk about 2 specific case studies of where we're helping generate a lot of enrollments for our trade schools, enrolling military veterans using the GI Bill. So here's a ad video, for example, and we're going to talk about some compliance, right? We understand you got to make some disclaimers and stuff. The VA office is sometimes kind of vague of where the disclaimer should be, but you could just drop it as like a footer, like a disclaimer inside the ad video. That's just always kind of hovering, short and sweet right here. So that's how you bake in compliance into your ads, where it's not disruptive, but it's still compliant. Now, going back to our previous issue of, if you can't call out military veterans specifically in your advertising, what do you do, right? There's ways to get around this through the algorithm. Showing a lot of imagery about patriotism, America, like for example here. So we're talking about transitioning into civilian life. We're showing kind of the American flag, talking about civilian life. Keywords like that ping the algorithm to get in front of military veterans. This is a $1 million pro tip that we're giving to you here right now. We have tons of more examples. Feel free to reach out if you guys want to see some more examples. In terms of tracking, just keep it simple as possible. You just want to track cost per lead, connection rates, cost per enrollment. Keep it pretty simple. That's going to be the best way to make sure you're moving the needle forward. And then of course there's sub metrics underneath that. Now in terms of optimizing, the metapixel is more important than ever. So you need to make sure, if let's say you're sending someone to a landing page, they're scheduling a call, that someone saw an ad, went to a landing page, scheduled a call. That call data, conversion data needs to be sent back into the ads manager, telling Meta like, hey, this specific ad produced a good call like this. Give me more of those calls. So that's through the metapixel and the conversion API. Very important this is set up properly. If you're not sending data back into the ads manager, you're losing out on a lot of revenue. It's more important than ever. There's new clients where we come on board and we just fix the conversion tracking back into the ads manager, and we provide immediate like 20-30% lifts in profitability. That's how important it is, right? Without doing anything. On top of all the other actions we're gonna take, but that's some of the first actions we take, and we see immediate lift. So make sure that's done. It's very important. So there you have it. Yeah, to recap, 1, you need to understand Meta is a very powerful platform to enroll military veterans if you do it right. You gotta understand your military veterans, your future GI Bill enrollments are living here. And we're doing it on a very consistent and big level of enrollments. You guys can do it. You guys just need to do it right. Make sure you tread according to the compliance rules, but also like know how to speak to these military veterans, because military veterans, they can be skeptical of GI Bill type of advertisements. But if you do it right with testimonials, for example, right, where you have past students talking about what branch of military they were in and what they did and telling a story, those work really well. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed that. All right, take care. Bye.